everyone, I am Aiden Kyom Domingo and I am one of the reporter of this topic, revisiting elementary learning plans, integration of 21st century communication skills and ICTs. So let us proceed in our objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students can first, define 21st century skills. Second, discuss the 3 ways to integrate 21st century skills in curriculum planning. And lastly, enumerate the 5 steps in integrate ICT in education. So let us now know the meaning of 21st century skills. 21st century skills are tools that can be universally applied to enhance ways of thinking, learning, working, and living in the world. The skills include critical thinking, reasoning, creativity, creative thinking, problem solving, metacognition, collaboration, communication, and global citizenship. So, 21st century skills are not only enhanced ways of thinking, learning, working, and living in the world. It is not only include critical thinking, reasoning, creativity or creative thinking, problem solving, metacognition, collaboration, communication, and global citizenship, but also 21st century skills also include literacies such as reading literacy, writing literacy, numeracy, information literacy, ICT or information and communication technologies, digital literacy, communication, and can be described broadly as learning domains. 21st century requires a radically different orientation. To participate effectively in the increasing complex societies and globalized economy that characterize today's world, students need to think critically, communicate effectively, collaborate with diverse peers, solve complex problems, adopt a global mindset, and engage with information and communications technologies. 21st century skills in education refers to the transformation of classroom strategies and curriculum to shape students prepared to meet the demands of an evolving world. So, as a citizen of the 21st century, we must participate in intercultural communication, critical thinking, technological integration, and much more. Also, as a future teacher, we must participate on this because students rely on us to prepare them for these new expectations and needs. So, there are 3 ways to integrate 21st century skills in curriculum planning. So, first, 21st century skills as overarching unit standards. So, incorporate a 21st century standards menu into your curriculum map. This category filters the 21st century framework so that you can check off the skills and competences being targeted in a unit. So the benefit of this approach allows for reporting capabilities so you can see how exactly the skills are being addressed across the school. Second, text box for reflection on 21st century skills. Create a new category. The text box allows teachers to reflect on the ways in which the unit will incorporate 21st century skills. So, just like in the number 1, the benefit of this approach allows for reporting capabilities so you can see how exactly the skills are being addressed across the school. Third, 21st century skills as an addition to existing categories. Hardcore within existing text boxes, a place for 21st century skill consideration. So, the benefit of this is teachers can reflect in several mapping categories about how the unit will address 21st century skills. The skills are multidimensional and appear across the curriculum. So, this approach facilitates that malleability and adaptability. The ways to incorporate 21st century skills into curriculum are numerous and flexible. Through linking the skills to curriculum, teachers will be able to help students rise to these new expectations. So, how to successfully integrate ICT in the classroom today? So, integrating ICT in education is an instructional choice by you as the teacher and involves collaboration and deliberate planning in addition to always having you as the teacher to participate. The integration of ICT in education is when you as the classroom teacher use ICT to introduce, reinforce, extend, enrich, assess, and remediate student mastery of curricular targets. So, effective ICT integration in education cannot be achieved without a teacher, and it certainly won't occur if the teacher will send only his or her students to the computer lab to learn ICT skills while the teachers do something else. So, there are 5 steps to integrate ICT in education. First, develop an appreciation of where the children are. This is all do with the methods of observation and assessment that you choose to use. The integration of ICT is about making ICT transparent and meaningful and purpose-driven context. Its components are practical and so observation is ideal as the main form of assessment. However, you need to use different strategies for each components of ICT capability. So an idea of this would be conduct a pre-lesson with ICT where you list all the ICT techniques that you expect your students to already know. Monitor this throughout the lesson and record what you observe. Then, plan your lesson accordingly. Second, plan and seek to develop all components of ICT capability. ICT capability is constituted of 5 components and just the one aspect that many teachers are familiar with that is just teaching ICT skills. So, as a teacher, you need to develop all components in meaningful subject-related activities. Let us now proceed to step 3. Embed ICT in the meaningful and purpose-driven context. Understanding how to integrate ICT in teaching and learning means that you are on board with embedding it throughout your curriculum. It is an instructional choice that includes collaboration and deliberate planning. So, you need to make sound instructional decisions by creating ICT activities in your curriculum. It is helpful to encourage teachers use a range of ICT tools, strategies, and resources to support the teaching and learning of ICT capability. So, let us now proceed to step 4. Select the appropriate ICT tools. There are so many out there and we know that we are under pressure from the society and our government to try new things. However, we can have the latest and greatest tech and yet be unsuccessful in integrating it. So what is the solution? I believe, firstly, that it is about imagining the potential of the available technology for learning with the context that it will be tough. This is something that we can all do. Secondly, not all ICT tools and resources that are out there develops ICT capability, and as ICT capability is best developed in meaningful context. It is actually integrating ICT in education. So you need to select the appropriate ICT tools. Most of these we already know and have in our learning environment. They involve the capability to allow students to develop higher order thinking skills through a high volume of decision making on behalf of the students, challenges them intellectually, and just so happen to be content-free or generic. So, lastly, the number 5, practice practice formative assessment strategies throughout the year. This is observation is the best choice for assessment. You need to use different strategies for each component. So, if you want to effectively integrate ICT in education, it is important that you have a good understanding of the ICT concepts and their relation to other areas of the curriculum. There are close relationships between ICT capability and knowledge skills and understanding other subjects, and it is not helpful to see their development in isolation. So as a future teacher, if we follow these steps, then we are on the road to leading our students to 21st century skills that they can continue to build on their lives past school. There are many ideas out there as to how to integrate ICT in teaching and learning, but sticking to these fundamentals is vital for your success as teacher in technology reach. So as a future teachers, always remember that we need to set a good example to our colleagues in relation to integrating ICT in education, even we have just one ICT tool at our disposal. So that's all my report, guys. Thank you for listening and God bless us all.